Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Meredith. Thank you so much for being here. We are going to have so much fun today because the new Wicked movie is coming out, Wicked for Good. And as you would know if you're a subscriber, I'm a very big fan of the original musical. I was a massive fan of the first movie, and I'm so excited for the new one to come out. When the first movie came out around this time last year, there were just a bunch of licensed Wicked products made. And I remember thinking, wow, they're really letting anybody license this. And somehow they've outdone that. This year, there are infinitely more products than there even were last year. So I thought it would be fun to tier list them. I'm going off of this Hollywood Reporter article that is trying to keep itself up to date of all the products, but as you can see with me scrolling, there's quite a few. There's over 100 on this list. I might skip over some that I don't have that much to say, and I even left some screenshots out if I didn't really feel like there was going to be that much for me to talk about. But some of these I actually do think are pretty interesting. I do just want to stress though that this is all for fun. If you like one of these products and you want to buy it and I say that I don't like it, I'm not judging anybody for buying any of these. What you want to purchase is what you want to purchase, and that's honestly none of my business. This is just for a little bit of a giggle. I also want to stress that I'm obviously not anti-trinket. I think there's a lot of people who think that any sort of collector's item is kind of a ridiculous thing. I am of a firm believer that your money is your money. You can spend it on whatever you want to spend it on. And if an item is bringing you joy, then that item brought you joy, and there's nothing wrong with purchasing it. But some of these take that pretty far, and there are items on this list that I would be surprised if they sold that many. And it really does feel like they just kind of stuck the label on it and said that'll probably sell, right? So with that, let's dive into our tier list. I did screenshot everything with the description so it would be easier to find. Let's make our tiers. For the S tier, I feel a responsibility to make a camp tier. Listen, sometimes a product is so ridiculous and so funny and so silly. The idea that it actually passed through a boardroom and got approved and was manufactured and then put on the market is so enjoyable to me and brings me so much joy that just on its own, that product almost wraps around to being a good product for me. That's camp. Some of these products are like the definition of camp. They're so goofy, so silly, so funny. Almost makes me want to purchase them in how ridiculous they are. So the S tier isn't necessarily products that I want or think are a good deal or am going to purchase, but simply the most ridiculous, silly, goofy, funny products on this list that just brought me joy by sheer nature of existing. So for the A tier, I really couldn't think of a more modern meme than shut up and take my money. These are the products that I either have purchased, spoiler, am planning on purchasing, just haven't done it yet, or am actively resisting the urge to purchase for a specific reason, but still think it's a good deal and I want it. This is a very subjective list, by the way. This is purely based off of how I feel about all of these products. For the B tier, I'm gonna put not for me, but I respect it. I feel like this is pretty self-explanatory. This is just the tier for products that aren't for me for any particular reason, but I'm not mad they exist and I don't think they're a scam or a bad deal. I just wouldn't purchase them. For the C tier, I'm gonna put highway robbery because some of these products are not in and of themselves bad products, but the price they're being sold for should be a crime. So it's not necessarily the product itself that's the problem, it's the price of the product, but that puts it in the C tier for me. And then of course, we have capitalist hell. This is the category for things where they just stamped the Wicked logo on it. There's no creativity. It's clear they were just trying to capitalize on Wicked being popular and sell an item that says Wicked on it. And I will say, the line between capitalist hell and camp is so thin. And really this tier list is a circle. And those two things are next to each other. And it really is just based off of whether or not it's silly enough to bring me joy and make me laugh that it exists or not. But before we fully dive in, I just want to take the opportunity to remind you guys to subscribe if you haven't, if you watch a lot of my videos, just an idea. And also that I have a Patreon where the patrons pick the book that I analyze every month. So I will link that in the description if you're interested. So for our first product, we are starting off, well, I was gonna say starting off strong, but not really. We also have to go so quickly through these, by the way. With the Ariana Grande fragrances, there's the Wicked for Good Duo Spray Pen set at Ulta for $42. And then there's also a bubbly pink body mist that's $10 at Walmart. I know that Ariana Grande makes fragrances. I know that it's very common for celebrities to have a fragrance line. I've never tried one of her fragrances. I'm gonna be honest with you. This to me is almost a textbook definition of capitalist hell. There's no thought to this. I don't know. It's a duo set of fragrances where one of them is green and one of them is pink and they say Wicked on them. And then the other one is just a label that looks like it has a little bit of a design on it, but it kind of just looks like pink Rorschach, to be honest. And then it says Wicked for good. They just stamped the logo on it, made it a certain color, and now they're selling it as a Wicked product. And it's just unoriginal and not fun. So that's going in capitalist hell. Next up, we have the Wicked X Lush collection. This one I actually pulled up the collection for. I have very, very sensitive skin. In like every way skin can be sensitive. I've dealt with a lot of acne in my adulthood. I also frequently get eczema and also sometimes hives. I am very limited in the products that I can use, and I'm very picky and I'm very particular. And I have a vendetta against Lush, mostly because they were really popular in the time frame where I was really trying to seek out a solution for a lot of the skin problems that I was experiencing. And I had a lot of people suggest them, and I had tried stuff. Lush is often the equivalent of DIY products you can make at home. They just do it for you. There's rarely other ingredients in there that you couldn't make yourself if you made them at home. And there are some people out there that think that that makes it better skincare because natural is better. But what makes something natural? Like, a lot of chemicals in our world actually are pretty natural and occur organically. I just remember a lot of people really trying to push me to use Lush products. When I tried them, they hadn't worked for me. They actually often irritated my skin pretty badly, but everybody was just convinced that they were like the cleanest, best option. And if you had sensitive skin, you had to go with Lush. So I can't really use their products. And I have a little bit of a vendetta, I'm not gonna lie. I hold a little bit of a grudge for the amount of conversations I've had to have with people just saying like, no, I cannot use those products. Please stop suggesting this to me. But all of that to say, some of these are kind of cute. You know, the soap that looks like a yellow brick, that's fun. They've got like little busts of the heads of the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Lion. That's kind of fun. A reusable bubble bath that looks like the bubble wand. That's kind of fun. Like, this is thought out. It feels like somebody actually looked at the Wicked story and thought about what a good collab with Lush would be and put effort into it, and I can respect that. So despite my vendetta and my personal opinions about the company, I will be putting this in not for me, but I respect it. We're not going to be able to talk that much about every single product because we'd be here literally all day. There's genuinely over 100. Okay, next up is the r.e.m Beauty Wicked Glinda makeup set and the r.e.m Beauty Wicked Elphaba makeup set. I have purchased some of the makeup from this collection, and I did purchase a few items from last year's collection as well. And I will say, I have not been the most impressed with r.e.m Beauty's quality. I didn't really expect the makeup to be the best quality, to be honest, but I still thought that it was going to be better than it was, unfortunately. I think it's very expensive for what you get. And obviously there's the branding and there's the fact that it is the Wicked collab, which is going to make it a little bit more expensive. I don't necessarily regret buying things. And I do think aspects of it show flashes of some real passion and inspiration. Specifically, there was an eyeliner set where the eyeliners looked like buildings from the Emerald City. Very fun. However, that was one of the things I purchased because I thought it was fun. I've tried the eyeliners. They're very, very hard to use. Metallic eyeliners are notoriously somewhat difficult. So there is an aspect of understanding that if you're using a metallic eyeliner, it's kind of hard. I put it on today. I managed to make it look good, but it just is a lot of effort to get it to look good. So it's just kind of a bummer because that was one of the big products from it that I was like, yes, that's inspired. That's fun. That's what I want out of a collab. And that's why I wanted them. That's why I bought them. But then the products themselves just like aren't that great or easy to use. But the branding's fun. The packaging is very fun. I just think it feels a little bit like play makeup. So I don't know. I mean, I did buy it. I feel like shut up and take my money makes sense. But I just want to say for any of you out there, like if it comes back in stock and you end up looking at it to purchase it, just know the makeup isn't the best quality. It can be kind of hard to use and kind of hard to make look good. But the packaging is fun, the inspiration is fun, and so I'll give it points for that. Next up, we have one of many random clothing items that a random company is making. This is the JCPenney crew neck long sleeve Wicked sweatshirt. You might think I'm being harsh just looking at this, but wait until we go through these items. If all the company did is some kind of pink versus green or silhouette of the characters, immediately capitalist hell. It's so unoriginal. Not a fan. Okay, next we have the Swiffer Wicked 4 Good Sweep plus Mop Deluxe Kit. I have such mixed opinions on this, and this is one of the perfect examples of the line between capitalist hell and camp is so thin, because there's part of me that feels like this is camp, specifically because Elphaba has a broom. I know this one on the image is pink, but there is also an Elphaba themed one. There's something about her having a broom that's such an integral part of her character, and there being this sweep / mop that you can get as a Wicked collab that I actually kind of love. And it's not that expensive for what it is. I mean, for a Swiffer, paying 20 bucks, that's a cleaning tool that you're going to use a lot. And I have a Swiffer and I use it all the time, and I still use it to this day, and it's a great product. And I did actually like buy this. I have to admit to you guys that I did buy this because my Swiffer is really old and I kind of needed to get a new one anyway because the things are starting to have trouble like sticking to it. I don't know. To me, it's like, it's not that expensive. It's kind of fun. It's very subtle branding, so it's not super heavily branded, but something about it being a broom and mop, and a broom being so important to the Wicked story. Also, it being kind of silly and ridiculous, but fun at the same time. I don't know. To me, it's a little bit camp. It's not the definition of camp the way some of these other products are going to be, but I feel like it belongs in that category. Okay, next up we have Classic Cream Wicked Salted Caramel Whipped Cream. So this is presumably pink because it looks pink on the package. Salted caramel whipped cream. They literally just slapped the Wicked brand on the front and they made the cream pink, and then they're calling it Wicked Salted Caramel Whipped Cream. And it's $35 for a pack of 3, which is quite expensive for whipped cream. It makes me laugh. It makes me giggle, but the price makes me go, $10 for 1 can of whipped cream? It makes me feel like that girl from Arrested Development. How much can a can of whipped cream be? $10? That's so much money for what that is. That's crazy. So I actually think this belongs in highway robbery, not because the product itself is that expensive. $34 in comparison to some of the other expensive products we're going to look at isn't crazy, but it's crazy for what you're getting. All you're getting is pink whipped cream in a can that says Wicked on it, and they're going to charge over $10 per can. Insanity. Next up, we have the Stanley 40-ounce stainless steel H2O Flow State Quencher Tumbler Glinda for Good. Okay, so there's a few of these actually. This is just the one they use the image for. Let me pull up the other ones. And I'll tell you guys, I'm more of an Awala girl myself, just because I love to throw my water bottle into my bag and just not think about it anymore. But the branding is really subtle, which I appreciate. I'm not a fan of when they just slap the logo on it because it's unoriginal and not as fun, and also because then it feels so much like merch. There's this middle ground that's really hard to nail of it obviously being for this media that you really love, but not just being the logo on something. I don't know. This is so subtle. Like the witch hat, I do think is kind of cute. This has a little witch hat here. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that. It's kind of small. And then this has little butterflies. And then there was a third color that's out of stock now that actually does have a lot of images on it from the story, which I do also appreciate. And so I think I'm going to put this in not for me, but I respect it because I'm not much of a Stanley Cup user. I would not buy those, and it is more expensive than their average Stanley, and $55 for a water bottle is quite a bit of money to pay. But I do also live on the surface of the sun, which I talk about every once in a while. And here in Phoenix, Arizona, a nice water bottle is worth the investment. So not for me, but I respect it. Next, we have the Barnes & Noble exclusive Wicked for Good original soundtrack marbled vinyl for $50. I don't know. I mean, this one I'm just gonna kind of straight pop into not for me, but I respect it. I do actually have a record player, but I'm a fan of the original soundtrack, and the soundtrack for the first movie hasn't really overtaken the original soundtrack on my playlists, and I still default to the Broadway soundtrack. I have no idea if that's gonna be true for this film or not. I'm very, very excited specifically for Cynthia Erivo's version of No Good Deed. I will be transcending in the theater, and there's nothing any of you can do to stop me. I just wanna hear it before I buy the vinyl, and $50 is a lot to pay. I mean, vinyls are expensive, but still not for me, but I respect it. Oh my God, this one's so fascinating to me. So this is the Sydney Evan Gold Pink Sapphire and Emerald Wicked Mizpah coin necklace set. Now, this is one of a broader collection. So we're going to pull up the collection. That's all fine jewelry, and it's very, very expensive. I separated out the two that were on the actual Hollywood Reporter article, but there's a bunch of other options. This is my own personal opinion about fine jewelry. Everybody has their own opinion. If you are going to spend a ton of money on a piece of jewelry, to me, that is an heirloom now, because one of the benefits of fine jewelry is that it lasts forever if you take care of it. We have jewelry in our family that was like my great-great-grandmother's wedding ring or whatever it might be, that is fun and means a lot to the family, that we still have that kind of stuff. And I think if you are going to be investing this kind of money into a fine jewelry piece, then unless you have unlimited funds to spend on whatever you want, then to me, this type of money invested in a piece is like, I'm gonna wear it, and also my daughter's gonna wear it, and also my granddaughter's gonna wear it, and potentially her daughter's gonna wear it if it hasn't been lost by then. That is part of what the benefit of purchasing something like this is, and I just don't see myself ever doing that with something so branded. But again, some people have just free floating money that they can do anything with, and some people also just make poor financial decisions. I just can't bring myself to say that any of this is worth the price they're charging for it, despite the fact that it is gold. I know gold is worth a lot of money right now, but you can get stuff at estate sales that's just as nice, isn't branded, and isn't so specific to one piece of media, and you can get it for a lot cheaper because you're getting it secondhand. So this to me is highway robbery. I separated out this one because I originally was going to rank them differently, but then I thought about it harder and I was like, no, they're both highway robbery. And this one especially, to me, what do you mean? I mean, it's just like stone in a bracelet. Like, I'm sure that there's something about this stone that's much nicer than what you can get at like the farmer's market, but I feel like I can go to the Crystal Girl at the farmer's market and get something that at the very least looks very similar to this. And yes, the little charm might be gold, but I don't know. I think paying that amount of money for something like that is crazy. Not for me. Not for me. Next up, we have the Foster Grant X Wicked Find Your Courage sunglasses. This is the definition of capitalist hell to me. It's just says Wicked on it. It's a $40 pair of sunglasses that don't really look that quality, and it literally is just green tinted at the end of the sunglasses. I don't really understand how that has anything to do with Wicked other than that it's green. You are banished to capitalist hell. Next, we have another water bottle. There will be quite a few of these. This one's from Zach Designs. I've never used a water bottle from this brand. For all I know, they're very, very good. It's $20 cheaper than the Stanley, but looks a lot worse, in my opinion. Isn't nearly as original or thoughtfully designed. You'll start to see what I mean about the silhouettes and the pink and the green, and it just being, you know, stamping some branding on it and calling it a day. I don't think it's original. It's going in capitalist hell for me. There's a whole collection at Nordstrom. I'm gonna actually show you guys this because they picked the, in theory, best design for the t-shirt. So Nordstrom, which is quite an expensive brand, marketplace almost for expensive brands to sell their products is maybe a better way to word it. They have done a t-shirt collection, and this is the most soulless, ugly, like, I hate everything about this. Literally just putting text on the shirts. It's not even well-made stuff. Images of the characters. I imagine it's made in sweatshops, and I'm gonna say it. I know that we should be hesitant throwing these accusations out, but it a little bit has that AI look. Like, especially this feels to me like it was potentially made with AI, and just a lot of this stuff, I don't know. Like, this as well, I don't know why this is giving AI, but this is giving AI, and I hate it. I hate everything about it. I think it's ugly. I think it's unoriginal, and it's going in capitalist hell. Another water bottle. I already told you guys that I am more of an Awala girl than I am a Stanley girl. Where I live, an expensive water bottle is worth the purchase. Where you live, that might not be the case. I am actually tempted to buy this, specifically because the green one especially is exactly what I mean. Let me show it to you, actually. I know I said I wasn't going to talk a bunch about each product, but here I am. We're going to end up being here like 3 hours. But the green one, I think, is so pretty and so fun, and is exactly what I mean, perfectly balancing clearly being a Wicked product and being inspired by Wicked, but not just stamping the logo on it and calling it a day, and actually having a very original design. And I really like it. And so I'm tempted, and I think I would want to get the green one more over the pink. I haven't pulled the trigger yet, and I don't know if I'm going to, but I will put it in. Shut up and take my money because I'm tempted. Next up, we have ground up Wicked little and big girls high top sneakers. Oh, I forgot to mention at the beginning, I did actually choose to leave off a few products that I thought would be kind of boring or that I didn't want to clown on, and most of the kids products made that. However, these I think are actually really cute and kind of fun. They're not for me because I am an adult, and so I'm gonna put them in not for me, but I respect it. Okay. Oh, this one's so interesting to me. Bubble X Wicked Other Half Lip Balm Set. This is almost $30 at Ulta for 2 lip balms, and here's the thing. I know that nicer lip balms can run you a lot of money, But I have potentially a controversial opinion about this that potentially also grows from, again, how sensitive my skin is. The best lip balm on the market by a mile, in my opinion, is Aquaphor. Even the tiny Aquaphor that's like made to be a lip balm, I guess if you want to have something in your purse, fine. But for me, like I just have a giant thing of Aquaphor that sits on my bedside table that I use when my lips are chapped. And any other lip product I use, I'm using way more for the aesthetic than I am for the actual lip balm aspect of it. And I have been horrified by the hike in prices of lip balms. I mean, it's getting insane out here. What do you mean $30 for 2 lip balms and one of them is pink and one of them is green? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. That's highway robbery to me for what you're getting. Next up, we have the Equate Wicked Sonic Powered Singing Toothbrush. So this is a children's toothbrush that will sing, I believe, Defying Gravity when you brush your teeth. And these products are actually great for layers of reasons for kids because they make brushing your teeth fun, and they also usually play 2 minutes of the song exactly, so you can teach the kid to brush their teeth for the duration of the song, and it will help them learn how long they should brush their teeth for. So I do think it's a great product for kids, and I honestly think for adults, it's kind of camp. Like I have a really nice toothbrush that I use that I'm not gonna stop using just because this exists. But there's something so funny to me about the concept of bringing someone home and having them stay the night and getting ready for bed and pulling this out and brushing my teeth and like not saying anything. That's the shit that only I would find funny, but I would find it hilarious to do that. Just be like, oh, this, my toothbrush, don't worry about it. And it's like singing Defying Gravity. Do I want to put it in camp though? Is that really camp? There's a few products that are specifically why I made the camp category, but if I save it only for those, then there's only going to be like 2 or 3 things up there, so I will put it up there. Next, we have the Conair Wicked Wavy Lighted Mirror. I have such mixed feelings about this. I told you guys that I'm not a huge fan of super obvious branding, but if it's going to be a branded collab, then I do prefer it to clearly be representative of the media, and I just don't know what this has to do with Wicked besides the fact that it's green. I think it's pretty. I think it would look good on your vanity, and if it's a good mirror, then that's a good price. If it's not a good mirror, then it's not. And so I guess it depends on how quality that mirror is. So I think I'm just going to put that in not for me, but I respect it. Next up, we have Dawn Power Wash Spray Dish Soap Fabulous Floral Scent. And this is where, like I said, the line between camp and capitalist hell is so thin. It is really, really funny to me that this exists, but it's not nearly as fun a product to do a cleaning collab with as the broom for obvious reasons. It does lead me to wonder if they weren't doing the collab with Swiffer, and I don't know if they're owned by the same parent company as Dawn, and Gain is another one that we'll see. Oh, actually, this is Gain. So yeah, for sure these are the same people. And are they the same people who do Swiffer? Yeah, they are the same company, I think. So it seems like they did the broom collab and that was funny and that was cool. And then they were like, why don't we do a few other products? But I'm also not pissed that this exists. So I almost don't want to put it in capitalist hell because honestly, $6 for a thing of dish soap isn't that crazy. I think it's like $1 more expensive than this would normally be. And if you're at the store and you have the extra dollar and you see this and you're a fan of Wicked and you need new dish soap and you think it would be kind of fun to get the Brandon one, objectively, is it capitalist hell? 100%. But is it a capitalist hell I'm mad at? Not really, specifically because it's not that crazy priced for what it is. So I'm going to put it in capitalist hell anyway, because again, that's objectively what it is. But again, I'm not that mad that it exists. It just does belong there. Next, there's the Olay Wickedly Wonderful Serum Body Wash Elphaba Edition. I'll go back to what I said about my bias here and this being a purely subjective list. I would never buy something like this, but I also do have very, very sensitive skin, like I said, and I don't really ever change up my body wash or my lotion or anything like that. But anyway, I don't need to wax poetic about that. We can just stick it in capitalist hell and move on. Okay, so I don't want to be mean, and I do think to each their own, and I think your fashion is a very personal choice, and what you like to wear is what you like to wear, and I think that's great. Personally, everything about these shoes offends my sensibilities. First of all, sequins on a shoe, immediately no. Immediately no. I'm already not the biggest fan of how sequins look. I also find that they typically only look good for like the first wear or two, and then the second you start washing whatever the item is, or really wearing it and getting some wear time in it, then it starts to look very poor very quickly. And so sequin on a shoe, within one wear, these would look terrible, I'm pretty sure. The second you got dirt on these, it would be almost impossible to clean off and to get those sequins to look good again. And not only that, I just don't think they're that attractive. $75 as well for this is crazy. Although I will give it the credit that the little anklet is kind of fun. And if the rest of the shoe were more attractive, then that would maybe win it points for me, but it doesn't. And so I'm gonna put this in highway robbery because I feel like you would spend that much money on those shoes and then you would wear them once and then they would look terrible. And admittedly, did they look good the first time you wore them? I'm not 100% sure. Next, we have the Blissy Sleep Mask Wicked Find Your Courage Elphaba. When I first looked at this, I was like, $41 for a sleep mask. Mine the Twilight Zone. Why on earth would that be that expensive? But I looked into the brand a little bit more and this is actually a silk sleep mask. I use a silk pillowcase. I use it more for my skin than my hair because I also wear a bonnet when I sleep. So there's part of me that's like, I kind of get it because it's silk and silk is a more expensive material. I do actually really like sleeping on a silk pillowcase for my skin. I think it's actually made a significant improvement in the texture of my skin specifically, not with my scarring. It doesn't help with scarring at all, but the texture of my skin outside of my acne scarring, I feel like has actually greatly improved through using a silk pillowcase. And my silk pillowcase was $50, I'm pretty sure. So, okay, so $60. Not sponsored. This is the one I use. I like it a lot. I feel like there's part of me that feels like, yes, it's up against your skin. And so it being silk, like I have actively experienced sleeping on silk on my face, feeling like it makes a difference for my face skin. But I also then think about wearing a silk sleep mask and a silk pillowcase. And I actually feel like that would be kind of uncomfortable because I feel like those materials together, I'm not sure how that would feel. I feel like your face would like slip a lot and I don't know if you could like really get comfy, but maybe it would be really comfy. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna throw out my hands and say I have no idea. Up to you if you want to buy this or not. It feels very expensive for a sleep mask for me, but it's made of a nicer material. It seems that this Blissy brand is a lot more expensive than other silk sleep product brands. I don't know. Like I said, $41 for an eye mask, kind of crazy. And looking at the price of their silk pillowcase versus the price of the one that I bought, like their silk pillowcase is $20 more expensive than the one I bought. And I'm pretty sure that I only paid $50 for that pillowcase. So I must have gotten it on sale. Anyway, doesn't matter. Next up, we have the Socket Wicked Java Sock in Monkey Business. I'm so torn about this. I don't know how to feel because I actually really like the design. I think it's very cute and fun and fits into exactly what I mean about not just having the Wicked logo stamped on it, but clearly being a Wicked product. Like you would look at this and associate it with Wizard of Oz pretty immediately. But I also just think this is a lot of money to pay for a koozie. Like you can call it whatever fancy thing you want to call it, but that's what this is a drink koozie, right? That's expensive for a koozie, I'm gonna be honest. But I like the design. So again, I'm just gonna throw it in, not for me, but I respect it. But that's not where this next one's going. Boy howdy. Silver Buffalo Wicked Glinda Pink Perfection Ombre Stainless Steel Tumbler. Okay, $30 for this. And I don't want to be rude, just the Wicked logo stamped onto it, and it's also not attractive. I don't know, I'm not drawn to it. I don't think it looks very good. And the ombre is crazy to me. It's not really ombre. It's basically one color on the top, one color on the bottom, and like very little blending. And I just feel like if you're paying $30 for a water bottle, there's significantly nicer ones that you can get that look a lot better than this. And there's even better options for if you want a Wicked one, even in this price range. Like, yes, the ones I've shown you up to now are more expensive than this, but even in this price range, there's more attractive and probably work better water bottles. So just everything about this screams capitalist hell to me. Moving on, we have the Tilly's Wicked Dashing Fiero Unisex Tee. So here's the thing about this. Again, it's giving AI a little bit, but I do think in general, the concept of that as a t-shirt is funny to me. But this is probably also very poor quality and screen printed and potentially made in a sweatshop. Like there's just layers of reasons why I'm like capitalist hell. Next, we have Wicked X Love Shack Fancy Mini Octavia Cosmetic Pouch. So this is the pouch that they put on here and it's quite expensive for a pouch. It's $135. But again, I'm getting this off of an article and there actually are other products in this collection. So we're going to look at the whole thing. And some of it's pretty cute. This is clearly quite a pricey brand, but I mean, so like $795 for a skirt. That's so much money. $95 for a t-shirt. And are they even sustainable? Like, is that why it's so much money? Okay, so from what I can find, there's basically zero transparency to their supply chain, and they claim to be super sustainable and ethical, but nobody really sees evidence of that. So there might be a lot of greenwashing happening here. If you want vintage clothes, just go to a vintage store or go to the thrift shop. You would actually probably pay significantly less money and get products that actually were made a long time ago that are probably better quality than these, and that is actually a sustainable and ethical way to get clothing that looks a lot like this. So, but you wouldn't be able to get the Wicked branding in that way, but I just think it's so expensive for what it is, and for that reason I'm putting it in highway robbery. Next up, I'm pretty sure that me just showing you an image of underwear is going to be fine, but I can't pull up the pictures of, there's a few different colors, but they're all on the models, and I'm assuming YouTube isn't going to be cool with me showing that to you guys. This is the Lemonade Dolls Wicked Glinda Picket. I don't know how you're supposed to say that. Lace Trilogy Bralette and Brief set. Here's the thing, $80, originally $88, 10% off apparently, for a very generic looking bralette and briefs. The colorways are really the only thing that ties it to Wicked. I actually do believe that investing in good undergarments can make you a lot more comfortable, and spending a lot of money on nice lingerie can be very empowering and very fun. And so I'm not saying that expensive lingerie is bad by any stretch of the imagination. I am saying if you're gonna spend a lot of money, this shape of bralette is so common and you can get it so many places for probably significantly less than this. And for me, if something's expensive, then it either needs to be unique, very well made, or sustainably and ethically made for real, genuinely, instead of just claiming that. And I don't really feel like this checks any of those boxes to make it worth it for me to pay this amount of money. I'm not saying it's bad quality. I'm just saying $80 for one set that isn't that original looking is just a lot of money to pay for something like that. That's highway robbery to me. Okay, I have so many mixed opinions about this. So this is the Wicked x Williams Sonoma. Williams Sonoma is a nicer kitchen gadget store. So you expect stuff at Williams Sonoma to cost a little bit more than your average kitchen gadgets. However, my mother, who is a phenomenal cook, will tell you that some expensive kitchen gadgets are very worth it. Forget about the Le Creuset for a second, because I actually have a separate thing for that. I want to go through these and talk about my opinion as somebody who's not a chef by any stretch of the imagination, but does like to cook and cook fairly often. Hot chocolate bombs are very cute, very fun. However, you're gonna pay like $10 for a cup of hot chocolate that you're gonna make yourself. Like, I just don't know that it being a bomb that you drop in the cup makes it worth it for that price. So it's very cute, very fun, but very expensive for what it is. This Elphaba Elixir one, I think, is a drink mixer that's a vibrant green apple flavor profile. It tastes vibrant. Oh, and it sparkles. This is one of those ones that I actually kind of like because the elixir is actually something from the movie. So there is a tie to the actual story with the product, and it's a fairly good price for what it is. So that one I don't mind. These spatulas are crazy expensive for what they are. I mean, $17.95 for a spatula like this. You could get this at Target for $2 maximum. I mean, it wouldn't have a silhouette of one of the girls on it, but that price difference for just that is crazy. I just don't really like the look of this loaf fan, to be honest with you. I don't think this is $40 for a bread loaf pan. Is it metal or ceramic? Oh, glazed stoneware. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind this price for what this is. I just don't like it very much. This is crazy. This waffle maker made me laugh so hard. It's this mini Wicked waffle maker for $30 to make tiny little waffles. These typically make waffles like this big, right? I have one of these that I actually use to make eggs, but I can also use it to make pancakes. The thing that cracks me up about it is that when I was first looking at it, I could not tell what this shape was. I had no idea what this was. I could not understand. And it wasn't until I actually looked at the metal plate that it's like, oh, it's both of their silhouettes back to back. So you have Glinda on one side and Elphaba on the other, but even in their image of what the waffle looks like, I feel like it's hard to tell that that's what this is supposed to be. So just everything about this I do not think is worth it. But I think it's kind of funny that it exists and that it makes such a poor image on the waffle and it's so hard to tell what's on there. But it's kind of funny to me that they put up these promotional images and I don't feel like at first glance I would understand what this shape is at all. And I had to look at the actual metal plate to see what the shape was supposed to be. And I feel like there's way simpler images from Wicked that would have transferred better to waffle than face silhouettes would. So it's funny, but I certainly don't think it's worth the money. I don't know. You expect Williams Sonoma to be pretty expensive, but for the most part, I think a lot of this stuff is very expensive for what it is. So I'm going to put it in highway robbery. I have very mixed feelings about, because you're probably seeing the price and reacting. The same thing happened to me. So this is the Wicked X Bombas Ruffle Quarter Sock 4-pack for $92 at Bombas. Okay. I don't know if I'm saying that company name right. My initial reaction to this was, what on earth? Why are these socks so expensive? 4 for $100. That's wild. And then I dug into it, and the reason why the products at this company are so expensive is because they do a 1-to-1 donation. So when you buy one, they donate one. So presumably if you bought this, they would donate 4 pairs of socks to people experiencing homelessness. The reason why I have mixed feelings about it is because I try not to be too picky in the way that people are doing good. And per my very preliminary Googling, though, take it with a grain of salt because I was just kind of Googling around, it does seem like they actually do the donations. So they're not just claiming that and not doing it. Like, it seems like they actually do put their money where their mouth is, and they're also a B Corp, which is great. But at the same time, I see something like this and I think to myself, if you wanted to donate socks to a homeless shelter and you were willing to spend $92, you could buy so many socks to give to a homeless shelter for $92. But at the same time, like I said, I try not to be too picky, and anything that encourages people to donate and help, you know, and then you have the socks. And so then when you wear them, you can think about the good that came out of it. So I don't know. I feel like I'm just going to stick it in not for me, but I respect it. Next is the absolutely wicked kit. This is the first thing that we've come across that I feel like is actually a good deal and kind of a fun thing. I won't be purchasing it because I don't drink, but you get 2 glasses. It looks like 2 coasters and a liquor bottle for $75. I don't think that's terrible. I obviously don't know the quality of the glasses and the quality of the coasters. For all I know, it's terrible quality. The combination of all of it together, the experience of it being a wicked product, there being the liquor in there with it, the fact that you get the glasses, you get the coasters, I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. I'm just going to put this in not for me, but I respect it because I think that's a fairly good deal for what you get if those are coasters, not napkins. This one though, Swarovski Wicked Wand Ornament for $190. Listen, I know Swarovski's expensive. I just don't think it's worth it. That's highway robbery. That's the definition of highway robbery. Wicked X Yeti Rambler 20-ounce stackable cup with lid. This is literally just a Yeti cup with the Wicked logo stamped on it. Boring, capitalist hell, not for me, and insanely expensive. So I'm torn between highway robbery and capitalist hell because I think it fits in both, but I'm going to put it in highway robbery because the price is just so offensive to my sensibilities. Next, we have the Wicked Munchkinland Tulip Fair hoodie. $50 at the NBC Universal shop. I think the concept of merch within merch is usually kind of fun. So this sweatshirt is for Munchkinland's famous Tulip Fair. So the implication of the item is that you could go to the Munchkinland Tulip Fair in universe and get this sweatshirt. So you see what I mean about it being almost merch within merch. For example, some of the merch for the last movie said like Shiz University on it, and it looked like a college jacket, right? It's almost like an in-universe item that if you lived in universe, you could buy as a Shiz University sweatshirt sort of thing. I like it in concept, but I don't think that this looks that good. It's probably not that high quality, and it also kind of looks like it was made with AI. So I am going to put it in capitalist hell, even though I like the concept in theory. Next up, we have Wicked Skittles. Guys, I don't know about this one. I don't really have that much to say. It's Skittles and it has Elphaba's little face on it. Capitalist hell. Okay, this one's so interesting to me. So we're actually going to go through the collection. So this is the Nadim, I don't know how you're supposed to say that, Wicked Defying Gravity cashmere sweater, and it's quite expensive. It's $150. So I ended up looking into this a lot because I was genuinely curious on my own behalf, because I do believe that investing in nice clothing that's made well and made ethically is great. I also think thrifting is really great, and something like a nice cashmere sweater is very hard to thrift. And I like the designs of these. I genuinely do. I think this one, this one also. But this one, it says the girl in the bubble. It's this nice light blue and it has bubbles on the sleeve. There's also Defying Gravity if you want it to be a little bit more obviously wicked, with a little hat on the sleeve. There's the hat and broom as a little embroidered patch. Changed for Good, I'm pretty sure is what this one says, and it has the broom and the wand. And then this one's just kind of a pink with Glinda's. I like everything about these except for the price, because I do like the design of them. I think they're really fun, and exactly what I mean about most of them being obviously Wicked related, but not just the brand stamped on it. There's only one that's literally just the logo. And so there is an element of originality in these that I really like. They look attractive on the models. At the same time, $150 is a lot of money to pay for one sweater. It is cashmere though. Cashmere is a pretty nice material. I dug into it. Very, very mixed reviews on how sustainable, ethical this company is. They claim to be. Apparently, in more recent years, they've been a little bit less transparent than they have been in the past, which is the most suspicious position for a company to be in for me, because if you were transparent and then you chose to stop being so transparent. Why is that? Because you put all that effort into being transparent in the first place. So is there something you don't want people to know? But by all accounts, people like these sweaters. And a lot of the reviews that I've read are very, very positive. And cashmere is a very expensive material a lot of the time. And I had trouble finding a single review that said something bad about the quality of the products from this company. I'm so torn because it's so expensive, but it is cute. And a lot of the people who buy from this company say the products are really good, but they have been less transparent in recent years about their ethics. At this point, it really is like you would just have to make the purchasing decision for yourself as to whether or not you have the money to buy something like this, and if you think it would be worth it if you did. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is, oh God, that scared me. I thought our whole tier list disappeared. This one's gonna go and shut up and take my money for me because I am very tempted to purchase, and I haven't decided yet if I'm going to or not. Like I said, I'm not against investing in good quality, and I do like items, and I like trinkets, and I like Wicked a lot. I don't know yet, but I am tempted, and I am really thinking about it, and I do think they're very cute. Do with that information what you will. Opposite how I feel about this though, Sammy Ryan Wicked Women's Fly sweatpants, $92 for sweatpants you buy on Amazon that look like they were screen printed by a friend of yours. Like, I think this is crazy. They look so unflattering on the faceless model that they used. I just think that price for this is the definition of highway robbery. That's crazy. Do not pay that much for random ass sweatpants you find on Amazon. They're probably not worth it. Okay. Next is the Tervis Traveler Wicked For Good I Feel Wicked Triple Insulated Tumbler for $34 at Amazon, or $35 at Amazon. This is what makes me the most suspicious that as a part of this collab, you could choose from certain patterns. We're seeing a lot of the silhouette of Glinda and Elphaba, and we also saw this pattern on the little waffle maker. So let me check. Oh no, it's not the same pattern. Okay, it just looks similar. Maybe they sent like inspo pics, because it is suspicious to me that this is so similar to this, but they do look slightly different. Anyway, I just don't think this is worth that amount of money. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that looks like it's that high quality, although I've never tried it. I'm just gonna put it in capitalist hell. Next, we have the Wicked Glinda teddy bear costume gift set. Guys, $74. What are we doing? $74 for a little outfit for your kid's bear. And the wand, like, is that what it actually looks like in person? It looks like it's just felt. And the crown, like, let me pull up the actual website. I wanna see more product photos, because that's crazy to me that they would charge that much money. So the bears themselves are expensive for teddy bears, but they are branded. They are kind of cute, right? But then this is the part that gets me. So like their outfits are so much money. And if we look at in the photos, it looks like it's literally just printed on felt. Like it's literally just the image for the wand and the hat printed on felt for your little bear. Oh wait, does the bear come with it? Oh, okay. Hang on a second. I didn't understand. I still think it's a lot of money for what you're getting, but the bear comes with it. Okay, I thought it was just the outfit. I thought literally just the outfit was $74. It looks like the outfit's $30, which is still highway robbery for just printed on felt, but I'm slightly less mad at that than I was before. I'm still putting that in highway robbery. Oh my God, we have so much to get through and I've been filming for so long. We have to start going quicker. Life is Good, Life is Wicked, Good Witches long sleeve crusher boxy tee for $21.99. I just can't imagine that this is that high of quality or feels that good on the skin, and I'm putting it in capitalist hell. Oh my goodness, this one made me so mad. This is a set of 2 candles where the boxes are branded with the silhouettes, get this, but the actual candles themselves are not really branded at all, except to have a tiny Wicked logo on the label, and they are $100 for 2 candles, $50 each. Brother, what are we doing? Is anybody buying these? Who's got the money for that? Anyway, next we have the Pharmacy Wicked Clean Kit Limited Edition. Again, I might be biased because I have so many skin concerns, but I see stuff like this and I just immediately am like, oh my God, if I thought about using this, I would break out. With these sorts of things, if it's not that much more expensive than the product would be otherwise, if you do use that product and you need more of it and you go to the store to get a refill and you see the branded one and you're a fan, then it's kind of fun. And so I don't necessarily hate it for that reason. So that one I'm gonna put in not for me, but I respect it. Then we have the Tartan plus Twine Wicked Poppy 2-piece train case set. And again, the pattern just, oh wait, is that the same brand? No, it's a different brand, but it's a very similar pattern. You see what I mean about there potentially being patterns or reference images, which makes sense. If they're gonna license things out, they want them probably to fit into a certain set of branding, but it just makes it so obvious that it wasn't an original and they didn't really put any thought into designing this, and they just maybe stamped a pattern that they were given on something and then they're gonna sell it for like almost 30 bucks. Capitalist hell. Oh my God, I'm so excited about this. Okay, great value macaroni cups, mystery color. This makes me so happy for no reason. It's so funny to me that this exists. This is the definition of camp. This is one of the products that made me add a camp category. What do you mean mystery color? That's so funny. I'm sorry, that's so funny. And I want to be very clear what I'm clowning on here. I don't care if you eat these, like whatever, to each their own. I'm not judging anybody for eating these macaroni cups. I've eaten plenty of these in my life, but I have never, and I mean never in my life, been eating one of these and thought, you know what would make this experience so much better? If it was bright neon pink, if it was a vivid emerald green that looked borderline radioactive. And the other thing that makes me laugh about this is I know that they put dye in that cheese powder to make it yellow. Like I know that that powder is not naturally yellow, and I know that they dye it to make it look more appetizing, but did they have to make it that obvious by just making it vivid other colors and showing how much control they have over the color of this product? I just think it's so funny. This brings me so much joy. I almost can't even put into words how funny it is to me that this product exists. Mystery color. And I understand that people give these to their kids a lot, so this probably is mostly marketed at kids, but something about the mystery color, just everything about this, I love it. I think it's great. I think it's hilarious. The amount of board meetings this must have made it through and made it to market as a product. I'm so curious about how well they're selling. When have I ever wanted to be surprised by the color of my food? I just think it's so funny. I think it's so funny and it's camp. And I low-key want to buy it and try it just to have the experience of doing it. All right, this is the Wicked official visual companion Target exclusive. This is a coffee table book. 30 bucks for a bunch of images from the movie, basically, it seems like. Highway robbery, not for me. And once again, so this is the Wicked for Good, I Feel Wicked pop socket. And again, we're seeing very similar pattern, very similar branding. Feels like they just stamped it on here. But this is capitalist hell for me, plain and simple. My God, we've really got to speed up. We're probably so far into the video. Okay, Funko Pops. So there's a whole Funko Pop collection. I'm not a Funko Pop collector. And when I saw the price of this, I was kind of surprised. But I know that people really love these and people are big into collecting them. So I'm just kind of going to immediately stick it in not for me, but I respect it. The Mattel Universal Pictures Wicked for Good Deluxe Elphaba Fashion doll. There's a bunch of Barbie dolls. Now, you might be thinking I'm gonna say shut up and take my money because I have some of these from the prior movie, but I've never actually showed you guys these. I have the one and only 24 karat gold Labubu. I'm just kidding. I have the misprints. That's why I bought these. If you're not familiar with what that website is, it's for adults. It was mistakenly printed onto the original run of these Barbie dolls. It should have said wickedmovie.com. It just said wicked.com. Do not go search up what that website is if you're under the age of 18, I think I'm legally required to say. I thought that was so funny when it happened, and I tried desperately, and I mean desperately, to get my hands on one of these Barbie dolls. I literally had a order placed at a store that was still selling them the day the news dropped that there was a misprint, and it got canceled like 10 minutes before I went and picked it up. It was so sad. It was so sad, but the prices have dropped on the resale, so I was able to get them for relatively cheap. I do have them. I have the Elphaba and the Glinda because they're the misprint. And those are the kinds of things that I like to collect. I like it when there's something very, very unique and niche about it. I'm not a Barbie doll collector otherwise. I don't know that I would have bought those ever if not for the misprint. So I am going to put these ones in not for me, but I respect it because some people do really like collecting Barbies. Okay, so this is the Running Press Wicked Light Up Shadow Box Plays Defying Gravity. So this is a shadow box that says Wicked and Plays Defying Gravity. Presumably when you hit a button or maybe walk past it, I don't know if it's motion censored. It's not that expensive for what it is, but I just can't imagine anybody, I don't know, if you want to buy something like that, to each their own. I'm not judging you. This is the Woobles Outstandable Wicked bundle. If you don't know what Woobles are, they're these little packets where you can crochet, and it's the exact amount of yarn that you need and the exact amount of everything, and you just follow the pattern they give you and you make the thing. I have friends who have done it that think it's really fun. $165 for 4 little projects is quite a bit of money to pay. To be fair, to make something like this, if you were to just buy the products yourself, you probably would end up at a very similar price range because of all the different colors you would need and all the other things you would would need. These are those projects that if you already are a big crocheter and you have a lot of yarn, you could make for fairly cheap because you already have it. But if you don't already have the yarn to be able to do something like this, part of me feels like this price is a lot for what it is, and part of me feels like if you were to just buy the yarn yourself and make it, it probably wouldn't be that much cheaper and would be a lot harder. So I'm gonna put it in not for me, but I respect it. Okay, Abercrombie & Fitch X Wicked Oversized Sunday Crew, $80 for the Wicked logo just on the sweatshirt. Highway robbery, that's crazy. Oh my goodness. Simple Modern Wicked Signature Voyager. Just in the image, these look so cheap and they're so expensive. However, I feel like the design is actually kind of a unique take on a lot of what we've seen. This feels to me like they saw that a silhouette was one of the options that you could do if you wanted to license this, and they actually put the effort in to figure out how to make that a little bit more unique for them, and did a little bit more something with it than other brands that literally just stuck the silhouette on there. But they don't look like that nice of water bottles. So I feel like I'm going to put it in highway robbery just because I think that's really expensive for how nice those water bottles look. But I don't know, potentially they're really nice. Old Navy Universal Wicked t-shirt, $25 for a plain black t-shirt that has the Wicked logo on it that you know is just screen printed on there and was not made ethically. Capitalist hell. Pottery Barn Wicked Puppy Candle holder. Okay, $50 for the candle holder itself, crazy. However, I actually am going to defend this collection. Forgive me. It's expensive. Pottery Barn is an expensive brand, and I actually think that a lot of these items are very cute and very fun, and they do give that feel of if you lived in Oz, more focused on giving you an immersive experience than just having the logo stamped on something. So it's not about showing other people that you're a Wicked fan, it's about you getting to have the immersive experience. Even though it's expensive, it doesn't make me angry for that reason, and especially because nice glassware is pretty expensive. And so you can get a bunch of different like glassware types that are really, really pretty and do very much look like what you would see on Glinda's bar cart, right? Same with this like Wicked bar tools, like that's really fun, and that feels like something you actually would have in universe. The hot air balloon as an ice bucket, like it's cute. It's expensive, but it's cute. There's stuff in this collection I genuinely want, and I'm saying no to myself because I know I don't need it and it is expensive, and I already mentioned I don't drink, but making mocktails in glasses like this is really fun. But I don't know, for the price, I have nice glasses. So I'm not gonna get it, but I am gonna put it in Shut Up and Take My Money because I'm very much having to resist not buying these. Next up, we have the Wicked Tony. Oh, I meant to look up what this is. I just don't even know what this brand is. Tony. Oh, it's like a kid's speaker. That's cute. That's fun. I can't imagine it sounds good, but I could totally see myself as a kid really wanting this. I don't really understand why it's red at the base with Elphaba on top, but honestly, I'm not mad about it. I think I'm gonna put that in not for me, but I respect it. This is the Roots X Wicked Varsity jacket, and here's what specifically pisses me off about this so much. There's a college in the story. They could have made it a varsity jacket. Instead, it's just randomly Wicked branded, and it's over $1,000. Absolutely not. Highway robbery. Redonkulous. G Mason Wicked plush cat toys 5-pack. I just can't imagine my cats are gonna play with these. I'm just maybe biased because my cats are not really massive fans of toys like this. They might actually like the little green bottle because they do like green toys. And actually they've recently been really obsessed with a pink feather toy. So I don't know, maybe they would like this. I look at this and I see toys that I don't really think my cats would be drawn to, but I don't know, maybe I will get it. Maybe I'll see how they feel about it. I guess if I'm thinking about getting it, it probably should go and Shut Up and Take My Money. All right, this is the S Collection Wicked Revere. Is that how they spell pajamas in other countries? That just short-circuited my brain. I know that says pajamas, but is that another spelling of pajama, or is that a specific branding thing for them? I think these are cute, but I also think they're $90. I mean, what are they made of? Oh, it's for kids. Oh no, they have adult ones. Okay. 40 pounds. Is that really the conversion rate? It's satin, and satin is a weave, not an actual fabric type. A lot of companies put satin because they think people think that satin and silk are similar things. Silk is a material, satin is a weave. You can take a lot of different material thread types and make a satin out of it, and a lot of them can feel pretty poor quality. I just don't think, I don't know, but 40 pounds that can't be the conversion rate. Why is it so much more expensive in US? I don't know why the Hollywood Reporter has it listed as more expensive. Maybe they cut the price because they weren't selling it. I'm not sure. That to me is a little bit highway robbery, though not as big an offender in that as others. Next, we have the Accutime Wicked Elphaba and Glinda Analog Watch. It's a little watch. It's almost 50 bucks. I don't know. Again, it's just not that original. It's the silhouettes we've been seeing on everything. Green on one side, pink on the other. I don't know. It's giving capitalist hell, and I'm not really sure why. I can't really explain why that's how I feel, but that's how I feel, and this is subjective. All right, next we have the IT Cosmetics Brushes for Ulta X Wicked Limited Edition Elphaba Foundation Brush. $34 for a nice foundation brush is actually not that crazy, and I have heard good things about the IT Cosmetics one, and the branding's fun, and a makeup brush that's high quality is gonna last you many years. So if this were to last you years, then it's a lot more fun than some of the makeup because the makeup will expire. So I don't think this is horrible. I'm not gonna buy it, so I'm gonna put it in not for me, but I respect it. Okay, so this is the Moleskine Large Ruled Hardcover Wicked Notebook for $26 at Nordstrom. I love me a journal, and I'm not a big fan of the Moleskine brand, and this is deceptive. I don't think this image is actually on the cover of the notebook. I think that's the sleeve that goes over it when you buy it, because then it says 20 on the back, but then it shows a different back where it says Brains, Heart, Courage. So I think, don't quote me on this, but I think the front only has the Wicked logo, which I actually kind of like better than the big image. I think this is fun, and if you like Moleskine notebooks, it's not that much crazy more expensive than they're normal. I'm just more of a bullet journal style girl myself, and so I don't think that I will be purchasing this or using it, but I actually think it's kind of fun. Not for me, but I respect it. Next, we have Cascade Wicked Dishwasher Tablets. I feel very similar to this than I feel about the Dawn soap. I think this is fun. If you need more dishwasher tablets and you go to the store and you can get the Wicked branded ones, it's kind of fun, but it literally just says Wicked on the front. It says it's an Emerald City scent. I have no idea what that means. I don't want the dishes to smell after they've been washed because I'm gonna eat food off of those, and smell can affect how you taste things. So I think this is significantly less worth it than the other dish soap, and also significantly less worth it than the Swiffer. So I'm gonna put it in capitalist hell, but I do think that if you need new dishwasher tablets and you go to the store and they have that one, I'm not that mad about it. Next, we have the General Mills Wicked Glinda Goodberry Breakfast Cereal Family Size. I am obsessed with this a little bit. I think it's really funny because there's also an Elphaba one. It's not a type of cereal that you would recognize that is doing a collab with Wicked. This is General Mills that makes a bunch of different cereal that is making Wicked cereal. Now, I assume that whatever this cereal is made of is either a part of maybe a mix of a different kind of cereal they make. I can't imagine that they actually developed a brand new product from the ground up for Wicked, because I can't imagine they're going to sell that many of these. But it does make me laugh that it exists. And specifically, the thing that I like about it is that it's just Wicked. Like, there's something funny to me about that. I know that General Mills makes a bunch of branded cereals that you might be familiar with, but there's just something so funny to me about it being almost unbranded. This is just a Wicked cereal that you can get, and I think that's kind of goofy, silly, funny, and it's not that crazy expensive. That's going in camp for me, and now I'm realizing how much of the camp category, well, I guess it's only 2 of the 4 is food, but still, I don't know. Something about it is enjoyable to me. Something about it makes me giggle, and I like that it exists. Secret Clinical Invisible Solid Antiperspirant and Deodorant couldn't be lovelier. This is crazy to me because the Wicked brand isn't even on the actual bottle. It looks like it's only on the box. How does this even count as a collab? So for that reason, I'm saying highway robbery, just because it doesn't even really seem like it's a collab. They literally stuck the Wicked logo on the box. They didn't even put it on the actual deodorant. Who's gonna keep the deodorant box? You know what I mean? All right, next is the Hostess Wicked Elphaba Frosted Chocolate Cupcake. There is also a Glinda one that's strawberry flavored and pink, and this one seems like it's their traditionally chocolate one with green frosting. I'm biased on this. These are one of my guilty pleasures. I love these. I try not to eat them that often, but I love them, and they're kind of my go-to gas station snack if I'm just picking up food on my way somewhere or on a road trip or something. And the dye in the food works way better for me in something like this than it does in something like macaroni and cheese. I just can't imagine that mac and cheese looks appetizing, and that's what makes me laugh so hard about the fact that it exists. But this to me isn't really camp. A baked good that has a more vivid color to it is pretty standard, at least in American society. And something about a sweet looking like this is much more appetizing than, again, macaroni and cheese being green. So I'm just gonna stick this in Shut Up and Take My Money because I love these. I don't really know what benefit you're getting from the branding, but I don't really care. I would eat it. Undercover Wicked Vanilla Drizzle Snacks. Frosted quinoa crisps with vanilla drizzle. I don't know how the branding has anything to do with the product. It just seems like this is a product that they put coloring into the frosting. I can't help but feel like these taste horrific. I don't know what's giving me that vibe. For all I know, I would eat it and think it's incredible, but I take one look at this and I think, oh my God. Quinoa, vanilla, 2 flavors I never would mix. Personally, of my own accord. I just can't imagine these taste good. And it's just dye in the frosting, so capital as hell. Wicked X Little Words Project Bead Kit. Okay, so very similar to the Woobles. I have very mixed feelings about this because you could buy all these beads and make this for probably a lot cheaper in theory per bead, but to actually buy all of the beads to make whatever it is might end up being a little bit more expensive because you have to buy these big packets of beads. I feel like if you like to make bracelets like this a lot, you probably have the materials to make one without needing to do this kit, and so then the kit wouldn't be worth it. But if you don't and you just want one of these style bracelets for Wicked, then you can get this kit and make one, and you might really enjoy it and think it's worth the price. I do think that this style of bracelet is very specific though. I think people who like to wear these wear a lot of them and make them a lot for different things. And so I don't know how well this is going to sell, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad product. It's going in not for me, but I respect it because to make the same thing would probably end up being more expensive because of the amount of beads you would have to buy and the amount you'd have left over. Okay, this is the Wicked Collection Embossed Signature Round Dutch Oven from Le Creuset that you can also get at Williams-Sonoma. We passed over it. Here's the thing about these. How much is a normal Dutch oven? I know it's expensive. How big is this? 4.5 quarts. Okay. So that one in their signature is $320 to $460 depending on the color, it looks like. That one's $400. Okay. So it's a range of prices, but actually that same size looks like it's $400 and it's $450 for the branded one. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that's awful. And I know if you don't cook, you might look at this and be like, oh my God, what? But a nice Dutch oven, if you like to make bread, is a good investment if you do it all the time. I was very surprised to see that this is dishwasher safe as well. I actually asked my mom about this yesterday because I told her I was making this video and I said that there were Wicked branded Dutch ovens. I said, but a nice Dutch oven is worth it, right? And she said, only really if you make a lot of bread. She told me that she doesn't really use it that often for other things, but you can. I know you can make soups in them and stuff. So I think I feel very similarly to this, to how I feel about some of the cleaning products, weirdly enough, which is if you are in the market for a nice Dutch oven because you make a lot of bread and you have a cheaper one and you want to invest into one of the really nice Le Creuset ones. I don't think this is a crazy price for what it is. It's $50 extra for the branding, and the branding is really fun. And this is a very nice brand that people swear by for these Dutch ovens and presumably will last you a very long time. And so if you're a fan, it might be worth it. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm probably going to put this in Shut Up and Take My Money because I really am on the fence because I don't own a Dutch oven. I've had recipes I tried to make before that called for a Dutch oven and I just used a regular pot. And I have no idea how much better those recipes would have turned out if I'd had this pot. And so to find out that it's only $50 more expensive than the regular one, which again, $50 is a lot of money, but when you're already paying $400 for a Dutch oven, paying the extra $50 isn't that crazy. You like percent wise to how expensive this product is. I don't know. You guys might disagree with me on that one, but I'm going to put that in Shut Up and Take My Money because I really am considering. Wicked Trunk Vanity. This one makes me feel so torn because it's so unbelievably ridiculously expensive for what it is. But at the same time, I like this because it's immersive. And again, it makes you feel like you're actually in the movie. You're in the story. This looks like it's something that would be in Glinda's room. So that's kind of fun. But it's so much money and it's a furniture item. And to spend this much money on a furniture item, very similarly to how I feel about the fine jewelry thing, if you're investing $1,400 into a vanity, then I presume that you want to have that vanity until you die, basically. Like furniture that expensive should last that long. So are you going to want a trunk vanity that looks like Glinda's vanity for your whole entire life? Maybe you would, or maybe you have the type of money that spending something like that on furniture that you're only going to use for a few years is fine. I'm torn because I think it's cute, but it's a lot of money for what it is, and I'm not not 100% sure that you would want to use it super long term. And also a vanity that doesn't have the room for you to put your legs underneath it. So you can't really sit at this super comfortably because you'd have to sit away from the drawers, which is also kind of annoying. I am going to put it in highway robbery, but there's nuance to these categories. I'm not super mad about it. If I saw it in somebody's room, I would think it's really cute. I just think it's not the most practical, and I think you probably wouldn't end up using it long enough to make it worth the price for the furniture unless you had a ridiculous amount of expendable income. Bark Elphaba's Ozdust hat. I have cats and I never put them in clothes because they would claw my face off. But I know some people do like to put little outfits on their pets, and some pets don't really seem to mind it. And this is really cute and fun. For some reason, this is making me think about one of my best friends was telling me that she asked a coworker if they were going to dress up their dogs for Halloween. And the coworker said, no, we live in a Christian household. Oh, the layers to that, the layers to why that's so funny. That person would probably roll over in their grave at the sight of a dog in a witch hat if that's how they feel about just the concept of dressing up your dogs for Halloween. I don't know. It brings me joy. It makes me laugh. I don't think it's camp because I don't think it's silly or ridiculous enough to be camp, but it would be cute if I saw it on somebody else's dog, but I don't have a dog and my cats would not wear it. So I'm putting it in not for me, but I respect it. Next up, we have the Ravensburger Wicked Movie Part 2 1500 piece jigsaw puzzle. I'm not a puzzler. I would put this in not for me, but I respect it, but that is the most obvious AI image I have ever seen. You could print yourself a custom puzzle for probably less money than that, and it would look cuter. Capitalist hell. Next, we have the Pop-Ups Limited Edition Wicked Pop-Ups gift set. I think this is a lollipop. I think, oh yeah, it says lollipop. Okay, it is a lollipop. I just think this is so silly, so funny, so goofy, but also $15. $15 for 2 lollipops? Actually, there might be 4 lollipops. My bad. 4 whole lollipops for $15. Absolutely not. Highway robbery. Straight to jail. Next up, we have Febreze plug-in air freshener odor fighting scented oil refill beautifical blossom 2 count. I hate these. I hate the smell of them. They immediately give me a headache the second I walk into anybody's house who uses them. Immediately capitalist hell. Immediately. Just because I hate them. That's a very personal opinion. Roommate's Wicked Land of Oz peel and stick wallpaper. I feel so similarly about this that I do about the trunk and the fine jewelry to a lesser extent, because wallpaper is something you might be more likely to change out than a furniture piece. I don't think anybody would expect if they put up wallpaper, that wallpaper would be up for like 20 or 30 years. I think you would expect to have to change it out after 5 or 6 years. And I think this could be really fun for a kid's room. But I don't know, because I feel like a kid would want something a little bit brighter, a little bit more in your face, a little bit more ostentatious. This is almost weirdly sophisticated for what it is in a way that makes me struggle to understand who the customer is, because why would somebody want this? Is there anybody out there who loves Wicked enough to have walls dedicated to Wicked? I have no idea, but if you can buy it in smaller pieces, people were suggesting that I do wallpaper on the backs of my bookshelves. I never did it because I just don't think you can see the backs of them enough to make it worth it with the amount of stuff that I have on there. But if you were using wallpaper for some other kind of project like that and you could buy this in a very small piece, then maybe you could do something really cute and fun with it. I just can't imagine that anybody's gonna decorate their room with it. But I also do think it looks actually quite attractive. And at first glance, you probably wouldn't realize it was branded. I feel like it's just got to go in the middle. Not for me, but I respect it. Wicked Crocs. Okay, so I know that part of the appeal of Crocs is that they're kind of ugly. I have Crocs. I'm not above wearing Crocs. I don't think I'm better than Crocs. These are not ugly in a camp way to me. These are just ugly to me. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, these aren't ugly in like it's ugly on purpose. These are not tastefully ugly. I think these are just ugly, personally. Well, I'm just gonna go not for me, but I respect it because I don't think it's capitalist hell. Okay, I've already talked about stuff like this ad nauseum, so I'm not going to keep going. You can just imagine I feel very similarly about this, which is if you are buying laundry pods and you see these, it could be a fun little way to mix it up. I don't really think you need to abandon the laundry pods that you have to make sure you buy this, you know? Wicked for Good Katie Kime Feather Knit Throw Blanket Green. I actually really like this. I really, really like this. This is going to go and shut up and take my money. I'm not sure if I'm going to buy it yet or not because I want to do a little bit more research into like the materials and whether or not it would feel nice. But I actually think this is quite attractive and quite fun. It fits exactly into what I was saying about subtly branded, but obviously branded at the same time. It doesn't just have the Wicked logo on it. It's creative. It obviously is Wicked. And if you knew anything about Wicked, you would recognize that. So for me, that goes in Shut Up and Take My Money. But I don't know if I'm actually going to buy it yet or not. I need to actually look at the materials and stuff. This one I think is so interesting because I think they're in the movie. Because this says as seen in Wicked for Good for this second one. So it makes me wonder if this literal purse is in the film and that's part of the appeal. Because otherwise, $265 for this. I haven't actually held it, but just looking at the photo, it doesn't look like it's made that nice. So I was like, that's so much money for something. But I guess if it actually does mimic something from the film, I could see somebody wanting it. I'm just not that person. I'm going to put it in Highway Robbery. I'm sorry. I'm not 100% sure that's worth it. Oh, this is the other. So this is the same brand that did the trunk, did PBT and Wicked Glass Bubble Table Lamp. I like this a lot more than I like the trunk because yes, it's expensive for a lamp and it is a little bit of an exposed bulb, which means I'm not going to purchase it because I'm very sensitive to light as I sit here in front of these giant lights for you guys. But honestly, these don't bother me that much. I think because I'm not looking directly at them, but exposed bulbs like this, not usually for me. It is very immersive. It's very fun and it's way cheaper and more, I'm going to use the word short-term an investment. Yes, you can have a lamp that lasts you a very, very, very long time. But for me, if I bought this and it lasted me 5 years, I'd be happy with my purchase for that price. And if 5 years from now, I was like, you know, I'm kind of tired of this Wicked branding, then I could donate it and I wouldn't feel like I wasted my money. Whereas with the trunk is so much money and such a big piece of furniture that I feel like if you buy something like that, it's because you expect to have it indefinitely almost. You expect to have it until it falls apart and you need to replace it. But I actually am going to put it in Shut Up and Take My Money because despite the fact that I know I don't like exposed bulbs like that, when I look at it, I'm like, oh, but that would be so cute and so fun and it's so immersive. That's where I'll put it. Sock Candy Wicked Elphaba Throp Bundle. Listen, this image has to be the wrong image. This image has like dinosaurs on it. I'm like, that can't be right. That can't be what the socks actually look like, right? Yeah, oh, they're witches' hats. Oh, okay, maybe I just needed to see them at a different angle. These are kind of fun. I will not be purchasing them, but I actually am also gonna put it in Shut Up and Take My Money for very similar reasons to the lamp we just talked about, because the reason it's not for me is because this like see-through with the pattern on them is a combination of senses that just doesn't work for me. I don't like it. It's very distracting to me when I'm wearing it because the shoes will rub against your feet in different ways depending on where on the socks they rub, and that usually distracts me. But I do think they're really cute and really fun, and for like a fit I was putting together, I could totally see getting something like this and just dealing with it for a few hours. Or if I were to wear it in a pair of heels like this where I know my feet are already going to be kind of irritated and there's actually very little connection from the shoe to the sock. And that's what I'm saying is it's like, I know I don't like socks in this style. I know I don't like the feel of them on my feet. And yet I'm like talking myself into it because I think they're so cute. And that's why I'm putting it in Shut Up and Take My Money, because I'm probably not going to buy them because I know I don't like socks like that. Meredith, you don't like wearing socks like that. You're not going to wear them, but I want them. Okay, so there's a bunch of Squishmallows. I'm legally required, I think, to put these in Shut Up and Take My Money because I own them. And I honestly haven't regretted it. I do think they're really cute and they are fun to squish. But I'm obviously a fan of plush. If you're not a fan of plush, it probably wouldn't be worth it. But this is one of those things that I just think you'll have to make the judgment of if it's something you want or not. But I do think I kind of have to put it in Shut Up and Take My Money because I did buy them the first round they did them. And if I saw them at the store, I might buy more. Dragon Glassware X Wicked 12-ounce stainless steel camp mug with lid for $27.99. I don't know if you can tell from my reaction, but that price for this cup, crazy. And we see the silhouettes, we see the do letter, we immediately understand that they didn't really put any thought into this design. I also just feel like these cups aren't that great and aren't that well made, so that one's going into capitalist hell. Care Bears X Wicked fun size plush. Like I've already talked about, I'm a fan of plush, so I don't mind these specifically because of the price. The Build-A-Bear ones were crazy to me because of how much money they were, and I know Build-A-Bear is expensive, but still, these bears look so similar. And I know they're smaller than the Build-A-Bear ones, but they're a lot more reasonably priced. I'll put it in Shut Up and Take My Money because it flashed across my mind. I thought about it for a second there. I'm like, do I want those? Okay, Pillsbury Wicked for Good Sugar Cutout Cookies. This is literally the only food item on this list that I actually think is a smart product. This is fun. This is pre-cut sugar cookies that look like the Wicked shapes, that it comes with frosting that you can put on them if you were doing a screening of the original movie to prep with your friends to go see the new movie, or having a Wicked themed party. These would be really fun to serve and have people frost like in the moment. And they're not that expensive for what they are. So I like these. I think these are fun. I'm putting that in Shut Up and Take My Money. I would totally buy those. Ruggable Wicked Tapestry of Oz multicolor rug. So Ruggable is like this washable rug brand. I've heard very mixed reviews about just the concept of washable rugs in general. So not specifically Ruggable, but whether or not like a rug you can throw in the washing machine is a great investment. Apparently, something about the structural integrity and the way that they build them makes them not good as a rug. But I think this is cute and I think it's fun. I would put this kind of in that category of where the lamp was, where I think it's fun, it's more immersive, it's more subtle, but it's well designed and it's cute and it's thought out. And I think if you were in the market for a rug, then it could be really great. Yeah, we have a lot in Not For Me, but I respect it, but I honestly feel like that's where it belongs. Wicked for Good Daydreaming About Donuts, and it's mint to be chip, 2 5-count boxes for $20. So you get 10 of these bars for $20, that's $2 a bar. And for what? Because it has Elphaba and Glinda on the box? Similarly to the other ones that we've looked at, I can't imagine they actually designed a unique flavor just for this, because that's so much work in the food world. So you can probably get these flavors other places on the website. And something about this, it's just rubbing me the wrong way. I don't know. It's very capital as hell to me. Wicked for Good X Wet Brush Original Detangler Hairbrush. People swear by these. I've never used one of these. I'm not really in the market for one because I have like a silicone brush that I use in the shower and I don't brush my hair at any other point. Not for me, but I respect it. Oh, there was another rug. I thought I had screenshotted a second rug. This is the Emerald City Multicolored Doormat. This one I actually like less than the other one. They just kind of took an image and stamped it on there. Then the other one kind of felt like it was more designed than this, but I don't mind it. It's so expensive for a welcome mat though, so I'm gonna put it in Highway Robbery because that's a lot for a welcome mat. Then we have the Kristen S. Wicked Limited Edition Regimen Set. I'm just gonna go back to what I've already said about skincare products, and I can't imagine anybody's making the decision to switch up their entire skincare regimen just to buy bottles that say Wicked on them. But if you already bought this brand and you liked this stuff and then you got the Wicked ones as refills, I'm not upset at you for doing that. I just think that these kinds of products are kind of silly to me. I don't know why brands think they're a good idea, because I don't think that this sort of thing is going to pull new people into the brand, because again, I can't imagine that somebody likes Wicked enough that they would buy a product just because it says the Wicked logo on it. Because even a lot of the things that we've looked at that I've said were tempting were something that makes a room immersive, or like it's some kind of experiencing. I don't know, this literally just has the logo on the bottle. I don't know, capital as hell. Next we have more toothbrushes. These don't sing to you though, but they are nicer and I think more marketed towards adults. I worry because with toothbrushes like this, you should replace the tops fairly often. And I imagine that especially for the green one, I wonder what their regular tops would look like on it if you were to actually invest in this electric toothbrush instead of a different one. It's like, how long are they going to carry the tops that match it to make it look that nice? The green one is very attractive. That's actually like one of the first toothbrushes I've ever seen that I'm like, oh, that's pretty. That might look nice on your vanity. A toothbrush is just a toothbrush, you know? But at the same time, it's like, how long are they going to keep around that top for it to continue looking that nice? Or are you eventually going to have to buy a different top attachment that doesn't look as nice because they're not carrying the Wicked ones anymore? I'm just going to put that in Not For Me, but I respect it. Oh God. Oh, we saved one of the worst and best for last. You guys, this listing brings about such a complicated wave of emotions in me I don't even know how to explain, because American Girl were the dolls that I played with as a kid. I feel like when I was really, really little, it was Barbie dolls. And then I got to a certain age where it was the American Girl dolls, and all of my memories of playing with dolls as a kid were with my best friend, and we each had our American Girl doll that was like our doll, and mine was Molly, and she was the little reader, and I loved her. I saw that these were an option, and I was like, oh my God, I need to buy them. And I didn't know the price yet. That's part of this whole story, is I was like, oh my God, I need these. I know they're probably gonna be expensive, whatever. I know these dolls are expensive. And then I looked at the price and I was like, are you joking? To buy both of these is $600. That's so much money for these dolls. That's actually so much money for these dolls. But I have a confession. Yeah, I don't know, you guys. I ended up buying them. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't bring myself to regret it. They're so nostalgic for me. I have such a soft spot in my heart for the American Girl dolls because I had Molly and my friend had Felicity, and we would just like skip around and play all the time with them. I literally did not go to her house without Molly, and we hung out like daily. She was my neighbor. And I would just run over there with my doll and we would play every day. I don't know why I'm like justifying it so much. I know you guys don't care what I do with my money, but I look at this and I remember that I spent $600 on these and I'm like, that's crazy. I can't believe I did that. And then I'm hugging the box and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I do kind of want to figure out how to put them in the background, to be honest. I like this set and I don't want to change it so quickly, but I also found the Twilight dolls for very cheap for what you usually get for these on resale. And I also want to put them on the shelf. I do think eventually you will see them behind me. And I also think for those of you very intense collectors, I'm so sorry, but I probably will also take them out of the box to do that and get those little stands where you can prop them up, because I just think you're going to be able to see them so much better than being able to see them in the box. That goes in shut up and take my money. And they took a lot of it. And then there's the Uno Wicked card game. It's a little bit capitalist hell, to be honest, but at least they actually changed the cards too, and it's not just the box. And there is something kind of fun about this. I don't know. I am considering buying those. And my rule for the shut up and take my money tier this whole time has been, did I actually think about buying it? Did I actually consider buying it, and or did I buy it? Am I tempted to buy it? That's what puts it in that category. So, and there we have it. Oh my God. That took so much longer than I thought it would. I have no idea what I'm gonna do in editing. I have 3 hours of raw footage. So I have to see how entertaining everything is when I'm editing it. And if I feel like it's entertaining enough, then maybe I'll leave it as long as it is. But if I cut stuff out, that's because I thought it was boring. And so if you saw stuff populating on the tier list and I didn't talk about it, then that's probably what happened, is that I ended up cutting out swatches of it that I didn't think were entertaining. I just think there were a lot of products that just kind of had the brand stamped on there. And I am just very curious to know from those brands, like, did it end up being worth it? Did enough people buy it to make it worth it? Or are they losing money on some of these? I don't know. Because some of these products, I'm just like, who would buy that? Did somebody really buy that? I don't know. Let me know what you guys are going to be purchasing in the description down below. I'm so excited for the new movie to come out. Of course I will be seeing it. Of course I will be making a video on it. Never fear. I'm also a little bit into the book, so I am planning on making a video about the book. So you guys are gonna get quite a bit of Wicked content from me in the next month or so. But I'm gonna leave it there. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!